Good morning! Let's boost your memory with a quick, powerful recap of who was Harriet Beecher Stowe. Harriet Beecher Stowe was born in 1811 in Litchfield, Connecticut, the daughter of Lyman Beecher, a fiery preacher, and Roxana Foote Beecher, who sadly died of tuberculosis when Harriet was just 5 years old. After spending time with her grandmother in Guilford, Harriet returned to a busy household full of siblings, chores, debates, and constant visitors. Her family was remarkable. Catherine Beecher fought for women's education, Henry Ward Beecher became a famous preacher and abolitionist, Isabella Beecher Hooker fought for women's suffrage, and others became ministers. From her family, Harriet learned that faith must lead to action. She studied at the Hartford Female Seminary, excelling in writing and debate, later teaching there and publishing her first essays. In 1832, her family moved to Cincinnati, Ohio, across the river from slaveholding Kentucky. There, Harriet witnessed slavery firsthand, met escapees, and heard stories that later inspired scenes in her books. In 1836, she married Calvin Stowe, a supportive professor, and began raising a family while continuing to write. Tragedy struck in 1849 when her young son Charley died of cholera. Soon after, the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 forced even Northerners to help capture runaway slaves. Grief and outrage pushed Harriet to write the story that would change America. Uncle Tom's Cabin was first serialized in the national era in 1851 to 1852, then published as a book in 1852, selling over 300,000 copies in its first year. It introduced unforgettable characters: Uncle Tom, faithful and enduring; Eliza, escaping across the ice with her son Harry; Little Eva, a symbol of innocence; and Simon Legree, the cruel master. The book made readers weep, debate, and take sides on slavery. The reaction was enormous. Tom's shows played across America and Britain, while the South banned the book. To defend herself, Harriet published A Key to Uncle Tom's Cabin, 1853, filled with real cases, and later Dred, 1856. During the Civil War, Harriet met Abraham Lincoln in 1862, who is said to have called her the little lady who made this big war. Her family continued to face loss, but she never stopped speaking and writing for abolition. After the war, she lived in Hartford, Connecticut, in a neighborhood with Mark Twain, and spent winters in Mandarin, Florida. She died in 1896, leaving behind homes that are now museums and a book that shook the world. That's Harriet Beecher Stowe, the woman whose words changed history. Quick questions. When and where was Harriet Beecher Stowe born? 1811, Litchfield, Connecticut. What illness caused her mother Roxana's death? Tuberculosis/consumption. Name 2 of Harriet's reformer siblings. Catherine Beecher, Henry Ward Beecher, Isabella Beecher Hooker, Edward Beecher, Charles Beecher. What subjects did Harriet study at Hartford Female Seminary? Math, science, philosophy, languages, literature. What city exposed Harriet to slavery firsthand? Cincinnati, Ohio. Which of Harriet's children died in 1849, and from what? Charley Stowe, cholera. What 1850 law outraged Harriet and pushed her to write? The Fugitive Slave Act. What year was Uncle Tom's Cabin published as a book? 1852. What book did Harriet write in 1853 to prove her novel's accuracy? A Key to Uncle Tom's Cabin. Where did Harriet die, and in what year? Hartford, Connecticut, 1896.